So, 11 years ago in a reality show called The Big Brother, there was a pretty ugly moment about that one of the residents basically joked about another resident, about that she's from Bat Yam, like this. This was an ugly moment in reality television and also a running gag in sports feeds on Twitter, in Israeli sports feed specifically. This guy that popularized it is actually a friend of mine. Myself and two friends of mine decided to prank him. And it couldn't come in a more precise moment. So I'm Lucy. Nice to meet you. I'm Lucy Joshua. And besides being a DevOps advisor, I also like to do a lot of other stuff. And one thing that I always wanted to do is to make myself a side project that I will learn from. But I wanted to be something useful at first, because that's what I thought a side project would be. But then I thought to myself, should I really care? I mean, can I make just anything that comes to mind? And the answer is yes. Look at other bots and other cool projects on Twitter that happened. Flag mashup bot that basically takes two flags and meshes them up in a really weird way. There's this thing that takes a tweet and makes it into a pretty lovable frame. And then there's this bot that basically insults you in GPT-3. So I'm not alone. I can make myself a side project and a joke at the same time. And also, it's DevOps. Does the subject really matter? So with that in mind, I decided to go to work. I've built a script that basically listens to the feed, replies to him on every tweet that he makes on that video that you just saw, and made it on a simple Debian machine on GCP. I made one hell of a spaghetti code. This is actually version 2.1, but it's the same spaghettiness as it was in the beginning. After hours of coding, I made this bot work, and it actually made it to every tweet of him. The results were amazing. But actually, people loved it. He might not because it bombarded his tweets, but people actually found it funny. So this was my incentive that I should actually continue with the bot. And it's time to over-engineer it for me, because this is something that you should do on a test environment, not a production, of course. So I made myself new features. I made new videos, new jokes. I even summoned the bot when I wanted to, using a mention, as you can see in an example here. But when it comes to the technical side, I realized that I had basically a deadline, because that was happening. And I didn't want to pay extra money for API calls, so I made myself a technical checklist. I needed to make this code an actual code. I wanted to put it in a KV database, the whole jokes and everything, not to be hard-coded stuff, containerize it, make it documentation. I succeeded in making some things. I changed priorities in others, and that happened. I didn't make it on time, and my API tokens were revoked. I wanted to use the same objects that I wanted to that I used before. I didn't want to pay that price at all. So that was my actual obstacle. Then I actually searched for alternatives, like maybe use a side project, maybe a side tool that can help me with the mission. Maybe I can ask Discord forums and Discord servers, and that was a mistake, by the way. Maybe just get a new project. I just got an idea with another friend to make another thing. And maybe I just, try to code around my limitations and make it work again. And breathe. Do you realize we went from this to this? Thank you for the... For me, it's amazing. I mean, just look at that. And for me, it left me with a few conclusions that I wanted to share with you all. First of all, a side project is important. It can help you brush your skills and self-learn some new technologies. It can help you to plan yourself and overcome obstacles, and also think about the finance side of things. It's actually very important. You realize it when you start to pay it from your own pocket. But also, a side project can be anything, right on time. It can be something useful for the community. It can be the next revolution that will give you the Lexus this time with the yacht, trust me. But it also can be just a very silly joke. And with that, thank you so much for listening.